question of the day is up there. It's officially spooky season. I want to know the best or weirdest thing you've ever been for Halloween. So throw that in the chat while you're getting yourself situated. And I am going to switch us over to our sight reading. This is in your course pack. You can read it off the course pack if you want, or you can just read it off the screen. We're only going to do the first line for today. Obviously, in tenor clef, give it a look-see. Here's our key. So we're in A minor. I would say as you're looking at this, maybe focus your energies on the second half of the first system, because the first half you only sing 3 notes. So give it a look. I'll give you a second. All right, I'm going to play the bass line along with you. So you have a little bit of an anchor. And if you notice, you start on a do, and the end of the first system, you end on a do, but a C sharp. We're in A minor. This is, CPE Bach. And these chorales, a lot of times, if they are in a minor key, you will end with a Picardy third. So that's in essence what this tenor line is doing, is it's switching us to the major mode for that cadence. First line only, ignore the fermata, just plow on through. So starting do's for everyone. I'm gonna play the bass line with you. Let's give it a whirl. 1, 2, 3. Do, do, do. So you should have ended up hopefully on that third instead. We're going to take this a few more times, but a couple things to maybe listen or look out for. There are a couple times in the second half of that phrase where the tenor and the bass are on the same note, and you can use that to your advantage to give yourself some anchors. So one of those places is the very first note of the second phrase. You both converge on la, and then 2 beats later you converge on this re. And the last spot, which is probably the most important, is this penultimate beat where you converge on mi. And the reason I say that's most important for a lot of us is the trickiest part of the second phrase is navigating this leap. So even if you completely botch that, you know that on the next beat, you're going to meet up with the bass on that mi, so that gives you a nice hard anchor point so that you can get back on track if you did go a little awry with the leap. So let's go back to the beginning. Do's for everyone. 1, 2, 3. Do, 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 si, so. All right. I just want to isolate the second phrase. This is your last chance at that second phrase. Take 30 seconds, and if you need to navigate that leap on your own, maybe give that a whirl, and then we'll take the second phrase by itself one last time. So both voices starting on la, second phrase. 1, 2, 3. La, re, re, do, ti, la, fa, mi, re, do. Okay, fine. Consider yourself officially warm. Let's jump back over here. If you just joined us and missed the question of the day, go ahead and throw it in the chat. I want to know your weirdest or best Halloween costume. They might even be the same thing. So far, we have a bag of jelly beans, which is fantastic. Spock and Glinda in a homemade poofy pink dress. I love it. All right. We're going to do a rhythmic dictation. So I'm actually just going to leave this on the screen because you don't need to look at anything, but you do need a writing utensil of some sort, pen, pencil, crayon, marker, whatever you have. And sketch yourself out 4 bars of 2/4. Just rhythm, so it doesn't need to be on staff paper, just anywhere will do. I'm going to conduct and ta a rhythm for you. And your job is just to try and dictate it. You get 3 passes, so 3 listens. Let's see how you go. Here's your tempo. 1 and 2. Ta, 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 ta. Here it is again. 1 and 2. Ta, 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 ta. And here it is one last time. 1 and 2. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, so let's talk and walk through this. First off, I'd like you to perform what you have notated with me. So hopefully we do the same thing, but if not, that'll give you an idea of what spots were need some work. So we'll go from the top, 1 and 2. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, now I'm going to kind of work from the outsides in, which is generally how we conceptualize dictations anyways. We usually get the beginning and the end, and the middle is the part that we have to work hard for. So we started out quarter and a set of triplets. Now I'm going to perform this again, and I want you to focus in on the third measure. Ta, 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 ta. Now, to me, the third measure of the transcription is the one that sounds the most foreign, but it's also probably the easiest measure in that it is just 8 notes. And it's followed by a triplet and a quarter. Now, looking at what we have, even just with the first and the fourth measures, we haven't gotten the second one yet. The reason that third measure sounds so kind of out of place is we have really been exploiting the triple subdivision. And then we get to that third measure and the duple division of the beat sounds like it's out of place, when in essence that is probably the easiest measure rhythmically. Now let's talk about measure 2. Now if you were conducting along at any point during this, that can be really helpful because it reinforces the fact that the rhythm in measure 2 and the conducting only phase at the downbeat. What I mean by that is from the beginning, ta, 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 ta. So at no point in that measure outside of the downbeat does my conducting link up with my time, which hopefully tells you that we've got some sort of rhythmic dissonance going on. The measure was divided evenly into 3. So notation-wise, what that leaves you with is a measure of quarter note triplets. And another way to kind of feel that is this was preceded by a measure of eighth note triplets. And if you remember, quarter note triplets are just eighth note triplets split into pairs. So if I count out the subdivisions, ta, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That can also help you kind of lock into that rhythm while you're listening or even while you're performing it. Okay, groovy. Can we all do that once together now that we have it on paper? 1 and 2. Ta, 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 ta. Fine. Now I'd like to do it as a canon. I'm going to throw a repeat sign on there because it's short. So we'll do it twice through. You'll follow me by a measure. And again, I said this on Tuesday, if this canon stuff has gotten like easy peasy for you, I want you to try and tap what I'm doing while you're speaking what you're doing. So a bar later. 1 and 2. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Now, we're going to spend a little bit of time listening to some polyrhythms kind of as they occur in nature. And we are going to go way outside of our kind of standard repertory. Of course. So I had promised you the Chariots of Fire theme song, which is one of the things we're going to listen to. And I've also got another piece here. Both of them, despite being incredibly different from one another, sort of function in the same way, in that you're going to hear and lock into this 16th note grid, basically, like a 16th note pulse stream. And then you're going to hear rhythmically dissonant melody above it. So let's just take a listen to this first excerpt. And this is from the middle of it because I tried to find a section that was clean. I think we're good. Sin división de persona. Me voy sola.
Better riding solo, I don't need your logo. I don't rock no polo, I don't post photos. While they talking local, they just flocking for the vocals, aiming at the moguls, yeah. I'm just that boy that came straight from the jungle. My past and my pain got me running, won't stumble. Back in the game, running back, I won't fumble. Not asking for fingers, you gotta stay humble. Me, myself, and I is all I need to find a peace of mind and reach the sky. Because I cannot be defined, you gotta read between the lines. Cause when I speak these rhymes, I'm sending shivers down your spine.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it there, and we're gonna back up to where I started. And I want you to, I'm going to count out the 16th notes for you for a few measures. I want you to put them in your body somewhere. We all do that differently. I am a big, I always tap on my collarbone for whatever, weird reason. You can tap on your desk. You can tap on your leg. I don't care. You can count them out loud. But I want you to have that 16th note pulse somewhere in your physical body. And then listen to the largely triple division of the rap itself and try and feel how they interact with one another. Here you go. Sin división de persona. Me voy sola.
Better riding solo, I don't need your logo. I don't rock no polo, I don't post photos. While they talking local, they just flocking for the vocals, aiming at the moguls, yeah. I'm just that boy that came straight from the jungle. My past and my pain got me running, won't stumble. Back in the game, running back, I won't fumble. Not asking for fingers, you gotta stay humble. Me, myself, and I is all I need to find a peace of mind and reach the sky. Because I cannot be defined, you gotta read between the lines. Cause when I speak these rhymes, I'm sending shivers down your spine.
Okay, we're gonna do it one more time with the the same thing. So I want you to tap the 16th and try and feel, or even if you want to speak or somehow enunciate the triple above it. It's gonna feel like a really fast 3-2. Here you go.
División de me voy sola. Better riding solo, I don't need your logo. I don't rock no polo, I don't post photos. While they talking local, they just flocking for the vocals, aiming at the moguls, yeah. I'm just that boy that came straight from the jungle. My passion, my pain got me running, won't stumble. Back in the game, running back, I won't fumble. Not asking for favors, you gotta stay humble. Me, myself, and I is all I need to find a piece of mind and reach the sky. Because I cannot be defined, you gotta read between the lines. Cause when I speak these rhymes, I'm sending shivers down your spine.
So that is a pretty quick example. So the metric dissonance is occurring at a really surface level that's quite fast. Now we're going to listen to a piece of film music that in essence is structured in a very similar way. There's a 16th note ostinato that is going on underneath. And then when the melody comes in, you have got triple subdivisions above that ostinato. This was actually even before I was born, so it's pretty old. It won a bunch of Oscars, and I found that most people, even if they've never seen the movie or even heard of it, they know the song because it's been spoofed on comedy shows from the music video of it, and sitcoms for years. So you might recognize the tune. Here you go. And the ostinato we get almost immediately, and it gets progressively louder, so you'll definitely be able to latch onto it. So you can hear that really consistent da, 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 da. So we're going to go back and listen to that again. But this time around, even if you don't know the melody, you don't have to sing it, but there's a rhythmic figure that kind of keeps coming back. The entire melody is constructed around this rhythmic motive, da, 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 and we just keep repeating that. So I would like you to try this time around to tap or physicalize the ostinato in some way and speak or sing the melody above and feel that metric dissonance as it comes in and out. So this particular example is indicative of the polyrhythms that you're going to most likely experience like in your real life and in your careers. A lot of times when we teach polyrhythms, one of the ways we do so is like, here's a 4, here's a 3, we're going to slap them on top of each other and just do that over and over forever. And it's a great way to like get it in your body and feel the composite rhythm, but it's pretty non-idiomatic for how these polyrhythms are usually expressed in like real life music. Normally what you see and hear and perform is something similar to what we just heard with the Chariots of Fire theme song, which is that ostinato was perfectly in line with the rhythms above it, except for that one measure of triple. And then it would phase back in, the melody would phase back in with the ostinato, and then would phase out for a second and then come back in. That's much more kind of in line with what you'll see and experience as performers and in the music that you'll play. So that was just a fun way to get us outside of our repertoire bubble and listen to some quite different stuff than we normally do. All right, we have just enough time to play around with some modulations. Now, in class on Tuesday, we worked with some modulations to the major 3 and getting there via the common tone, fully diminished 7th chord. The reason we have to use kind of a janky pivot like that to go to the major 3 is because major 1 to major 3, those are not closely related keys, which means that they don't share any harmonies, any diatonic harmonies. When we go major 1 to minor 3, there are some really clean diatonic pivots that we can use to hop over there. Major 1 to major 3, there's no diatonic way to get there. We have to invoke some kind of chromaticism. Today, we're going to focus on modulating the other direction, so going in the downward mediant way, so to some flavor of the 6. The mediant modulations I have listed here are the 8 that I think are the most common. Yes, there are other options. You can go major 1 to minor flat 3. It's super unusual, but you can totally do it. These 8 are the most common ones that we see. And the ones that are highlighted in turquoise are the ones we are going to play with today. Now, you can go to 6 in other ways. So major 1 to minor 6. We go there all the time. It's a relative minor. It's a really easy modulation to enact. Minor 1 to its major 6, also really easy to do. They're diatonic, built-in diatonic pivots. But going major 1 to major 6 and major 1 to major flat 6, there are no diatonic pivot chords in those transformations. You have to use some sort of chromaticism. Now, the reason we're doing this today is your music by ear uses a distant mediant modulation. If you haven't watched that video yet, the music by ear is a little more labor intensive than the one I had you do for Unit 1. So be forewarned, it's going to maybe take a little bit more of your time. But watch the video, first off, to get acclimated and figure out what you have to do, and also because I want to hear what you think about the song, because I think it's really creepy. But I want to hear what you think once you've listened to it. But it modulates twice, and one of the modulations is a distant modulation, a distant mediant modulation. And one of the ways that you can sort of suss those out when you're listening in real time or listening to a recording that isn't like block chords is to figure out which scale degrees are common. So which notes are common and how they transform. So on Tuesday we did a lot of, here's your key, turn 1 into 3, sing down to your new 1. And now turn that into 3, sing down to your new 1. This idea of these transformations, 1 becoming 3, 3 becoming 5, that is how you can navigate those modulations in the wild. So with that said, let's take a listen to one. So because there are no diatonic pivots, these modulations sound really clunky. I am going to give them to you in the literal least delicate way. We are just going to plop into the new key. The good news is, if you listen to the bass line, that'll tell you a whole lot. But I'm going to play through this passage, this progression for you one time. So incredibly indelicate, we went tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic, new tonic, predominant, cadential, dominant, tonic. Now that we kind of know that, I'm going to play it again. I'm going to have you sing a couple chords. So here it is from the beginning. Can you sing this tonic triad for me? 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. And then we went here. Can you sing this triad for me? 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. We're gonna go back. Original tonic, sing this one. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. New tonic, sing this one. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Between those two triads, there is one pitch that is shared. So you've got triad X, triad Y, and they share one pitch. That's your first piece of information. The other piece of information is, what is the bass doing? It's moving by third. You've got to figure out if it's major third or minor third. So here it is from the beginning. So I'll play that transformation again. So hopefully, between those two pieces of information, we've got key X, 1, 3, 5, key Y, 1, 3, 5. And from X to Y, we went down major third. So it's really helpful for me to put actual letter names onto things. Even if I don't know what key something's in, I'll put fake letter names on it, just so that I have some grounding. So this actually, I did actually start in C major, so we're going to do that. So we had C, E, G. Went down a major third. So C down a major third gives us a flat, C and E flat. Looking at those two together now reveals our common pitch. 1 became 3. So one last time. Go ahead and sing this triad. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. 1 becomes 3. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Let's try one more. We have 2 minutes, which is plenty of time. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna play you a progression. We'll stay in the same key, same starting key. So let's see what you can figure with this one. So I'm going to play it again. I'm going to stop a few times. So we've got tonic. We've got this sort of rolling predominant, right? 1, 6, 4, 5, 1. We go to 6 again. But what's different about it is that we've taken that quality and we've changed it to major. So can you, for me, this from the beginning. Can you sing this triad? 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. And we went here. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Go back to this one. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. And to here. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. So 2 pieces of information that you have is the baseline motion and scale degree continuation. So we have key X and key Y again, 1, 3, and 5, 1, 3, 5. But this time our bass went down by minor third. So again, with slapping some pitch names on there, C, E, G, if the bass went down a minor third, we went down to regular A, and we know that we switched the quality to major, so that changes that third to C sharp. So in this transformation then, the third of our tonic triad became the 5th of the new one. Now the way I played them for you was just like kind of super clunky root position for everybody. But the way cleaner way to do that is here's your root position C major triad. I'm going to keep this third here. I'm going to move the C up to C sharp. I'm going to move the G up to A. So if you get yourself on a keyboard, you can really feel how easy that transformation is to physically play. C to A flat major, same thing. So C, E, G. I'm going to keep the C. E goes down to E flat. G goes up to A flat. There I am. So really close, tiny movements between the non-common notes. If you do get into Neo-Riemannian theory in your Theory 3 classes this semester, that's in essence what we're doing, just with a different name. Okay, I went 1 minute over. Friendly reminder that this unit ends next Thursday, which kind of made my heart stop when I realized it when I was going to bed last night. The deadline for this unit is on Thursday instead of Sunday. So what that means is get rolling. So you've got 4 things up there so far. The quiz hasn't been released yet. I think it's going out maybe today. But the small score assignment, the big song, the small song, and the music by ear are all up there. So get on in Google Classroom and watch the videos, pick your pieces, and get rolling with that so that you are not in full-on panic mode on Wednesday of next week. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your weekend. Hold on, let me just read Sam's question real quick. Yes, so the assignments for Unit 2 are everything that Professor Miyake posted. So we traded units. I had Unit 1, she's got Unit 2. So everything that Professor Miyake has posted is fair game for both of our sections. So all 4 of hers, all 4 of mine. All right, wunderbar. If you guys have questions, hang out. Otherwise, I will see you all on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend.